So thank you guys so much for coming. I'm Kell. Like Matt said, I've been working with the Beeck Center for over a year if you count GU impacts, which is really exciting. And I'm a junior in the School of Foreign Service studying Science, Technology, and International Affairs. And I'm really excited today to talk to you about the census, which is not always everyone's most exciting topic, although I will try to make it. So the census is our nation's largest non-wartime effort, and it's taking place next year, April 1st, 2020, as it takes place every 10 years as mandated in our Constitution. And the census touches on pretty much every aspect of our democracy. We have apportionment, assigning congressional seats, redistricting or drawing congressional districts, and allocating about $900 billion in federal funding each year across over 325 programs. So it's really foundational to our democracy, but we don't talk about it that often. Many people, especially younger people, don't really talk about it at all. And when it is brought up, it's in the context of fear, risk, and confusion. Headlines like these that emphasize how much danger could come from the census data or who's at risk from it increase the chances of an undercount, especially for groups that are already vulnerable, which we call hard-to-count groups. So these include people of low income, people in minority groups, and college students. And if we have this undercount, then that means that we will have unfairly assigned congressional districts, that the wrong number of representatives will be sent to the House of Representatives from each state, and that federal funding won't be going to areas that need it most. So it's really essential that we don't have this undercount, or that we try to mitigate it as best we can. And so I've been working with the Beeck Center to do this for college students, because we face some unique risks. Many of us don't remember the census, I definitely don't, and we've never filled out a form before, so this isn't something that's at the front of our minds. We're also highly mobile, so I consider myself to still live in Boston, where my parents live, but since I live and sleep in DC most of the time, this is where I should be counted. And then with college students, it also gets confusing because we live in dorms. So for Georgetown, we live 3 years on campus. So for freshmen, sophomores, and juniors, we're counted by our school administration. But for off-campus people, you have to decide who's your head of household, which roommate has the most leadership skills maybe, and who's gonna fill out their form with all this information for all of you. And then lastly, we're not interested in taking it. This poll is as recent as November, and it shows that college-aged people just do not want to respond, and they're not planning on it. But we also have some unique opportunities as young people. The same poll showed that 64% of young adults say they use Twitter almost constantly or several times a day. 57% said the same about Facebook, and 33% about YouTube. So we're constantly connected to the internet. This can be a risk because we get most of our information from the internet, but if we're armed with the correct information about how the census is used and how it can directly benefit our communities, this also uniquely positions us to monitor mis- and disinformation across different platforms. We also rally around a cause when we're interested in it. So this summer, I led a workshop with Beeck for my fellow student analysts talking about how the census benefits our communities. And in the true Beeck fashion of doing and not just speaking, we created a resource for flagging mis- and disinformation across different platforms. So this is a screenshot from that resource showing how to flag videos on YouTube. And we've asked students to get engaged in ways beyond just creating resources or having meetings. Flagging this information is going to be so important as we move up to the census. So this will kick up as we move closer to April 1st. But if you see something on the internet that's false or trying to spread fear or confusion, you can report it to rumors@census.gov and to the platform itself. We also have been asking college students and everyone to talk to their communities about the census. You should be telling your neighbors to fill out the form, your friends, your family, and you can also tell every single Uber and Lyft driver that you have that the Census Bureau is hiring for temporary, well-paid jobs. And then finally, fill out your own form. Making sure that you and the people that you live with are counted may seem pretty small, but it can directly benefit your community, and it's a way to make sure that you're represented in our democracy. There are times really when it's all hands on deck, and this is one of them, and I had a really great reminder of that this summer after the workshop. One of our fellow student analysts came up to me afterwards and had told me that she was actually planning on boycotting the census because of the rhetoric she had heard around the citizenship question. But after she realized how it would actually increase her community's representation, she told me that she was going to fill out her form, and she was also about to call her parents in North Carolina and tell them to fill out theirs. So Adrika really reminded me that we have to keep the people that we're serving or intending to serve at the forefront of our attempts to create better outcomes. And she also reminded me how important it is to be active participants in our democracy. So even though I'm going off to Berlin next semester and sadly leaving the Beeck Center to study abroad, I'm going to be making sure that my friends and family have my new phone number so I can text them on April 1st and make sure they're filling out their forms. And I hope that you're texting your friends and family or giving them a call and telling them to do the same. Thank you so much.